Hello and welcome to Karen's Creative Cards on YouTube. I am Karen Hashik, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make a super cute tent pop-up card for a special person you love more than you can say. I recently received all the new dies from Karen Burniston's spring release and had so much fun playing with them. I'll be doing more videos soon with some of the other fantastic dies in this release. Here is the card we are making today. Here's the front. It says love you with s'mores and marshmallows, and when you open it, a tent and a campfire fire pit pop up, and love you s'more with a place to sign the card. So that is the card that we'll be making today, and here are the supplies that I used to make this card. This is the Karen Burniston Tent Pop-Up Die Set. I'm going to use her new alphabet die set. I'm loving the size of these alphabet pieces. They are perfect for the eclipse technique. They're good and chunky, but they're not too big, so it's really a good size of an alphabet. I'm going to be using her Camping Charms new set to make the s'more and the stick with the marshmallow, but as you can see there's other really cute charms on this set. And I'm using her Crosshatch Rectangles set of dies. I have many stitched dies, but these are unique. They're crosshatch. They're really different than any that I have, and they add a really interesting element when you put them on a card. I'm also using a set from Honey Bee Stamps. Now I've taken this apart and put it on a magnet, but it is Love You in the script, and then there's two layers that you can choose. One has the stitching on there, and one is a little bit smaller. It's really neat to layer sentiments like that, and I've chosen to use the larger stitched layer with this on this card. We're going to start with a 9.5 by 6 dark green card base, folded and scored at 4 3/4. Now, whenever you get one of Karen Burniston's die sets, you're going to want to go to her website and watch her videos. And as she explains, most of these die sets you can make any size card you want. There's a minimum size, but you can definitely use this die set in an A2 card, but I chose to make it a little bit bigger so I could have a little more of a scene on the inside. I have die cut most of the pieces already that we're going to use today. I figure you don't really need to watch me die cutting. This is the tent piece, and I cut it out of a two-sided designer paper weight. I have folded, as Karen tells us in her video, mountain folds on all of the folds except for the flaps here, and that's a valley fold. There's little holes in these flaps and at the top, and you can choose to use those to put twine through and hold the tent down on your card. So you could put twine through there and hold it down here and here, but I chose to just put some little square brads in them as a cute decoration. I folded down, I folded all the flaps. I put a little bit of two-sided tape on this one and on this one, and that's what's going to hold the tent together. And then I put some wide two-sided tape on the bottom flaps, and that's what's going to hold it into the card. So we're ready. I also did sponging all around all the edges, just to add a little bit of rustic color to them. And I'm going to put the tent together. If I can do that where you can see it. I simply taking the tape off of those flaps. And attaching them together. So now we have the tent shape forming. You take the card that you've created. Karen suggests that you fold this back flap in, and then you're going to take this tape off one side of the bottom of the tent, and you're going to apply it against the fold almost all the way to the top. And then you're going to take the top off of this tape. And she used her glue, and you certainly can. You can use whatever adhesive you're comfortable with. And we're going to apply that down. Use our fingers to push that down. And then the tent will fold flat and then will pop up when the card is opened. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that is a really fun pop-up element. Now we're going to create the fire pit, which is going to be down here. So we cut out the two pieces of the fire pit, and they are there's a slit in between, and they're placed right against the fold too. And then the first one that I did, I put that down a little bit too low, so when I put the fire in there and then when I closed the card, it went down too far. So I think we want to have this closer, but not quite as close as I did before. So if we put the fire there, I think it won't show. So if it's there and I put the fire here and it folds down, I think we'll be okay. I just trimmed it off a little bit and it was perfectly fine, but I would prefer not to have to do that. You put those right up to the fold, but not over. And she suggested using a Copic or some kind of marker to just kind of color it almost the same color as the pit is, so it's not quite as noticeable. There are some rocks that you cut out very easily with one die, and then while it is still in the die, you sponge a little bit of black on them, and I cut them out of like a gray leather like material, and I'm going to use glue dots to attach them. And in watching the video, she gives us a lot of really good tips, and then you don't have to figure it out yourself, right? So she suggested you put one rock up there to the side. You don't want to put it right in the fold, but just to the side, and one down there, and then two towards the center, and then one to fill in. So again, one towards the top, one towards the bottom, two in the center, two to fill in. And then I created the fire as she shows in the video with a yellow flame with an orange one on top and then with brown towards the bottom. And then you have to pay attention to where the fold is because they are also going to fold. And then we're going to put adhesive on there to hold it in the fire. And I think I'll use some other glue dots for that. What did we ever do without glue dots, huh? So the fire is now complete, and when you close the card it also folds and then pops up. I liked the theme of the s'mores, so I cut a rectangle crosshatch piece that you're going to sign. I'm going to sign on there, and I put a stick with a marshmallow. I cut that out of white and sponged it a little bit so it's golden brown, just like I like to eat them. And then I cut out s'more and also made that look like marshmallows that have been roasted. And I'm going to put that on the side here of the card. We better line those up, make sure we got good room placement for them. I love you, s'more. When my grandson was a little guy, he was just fascinated with s'mores and fire pits and roasting marshmallows, so I think he's really going to like this card, even though he's a much bigger boy now. So on the front, I created a s'more using one of her charms. I just cut off the charm part, and again, following her video, put the chocolate in with a dark brown and the marshmallow in, and I sponged a little bit. And I have a another marshmallow on a stick, and I've done the layering of the Love You. So we'll attach those. This I raised on a little bit of mounting tape. And we'll use some glue to attach this. I've used the largest size of the rectangle crosshatch die to create the front. I don't think I'll ever use my regular rectangles, squares, or circles anymore. It's so much more interesting to have some type of pattern, whether it be stitching or in this case the crosshatch adds such a nice touch. So our card is complete. This is the front, love you, and then you open it up and you saw how easy that was to just make those really cool pop-up elements for the inside of the card to surprise and delight the recipient. I simply love how this card turned out, and I know my grandson is going to love it too. If you click on the link to the Karen Burniston tent pop-up die in the description box, you will go to her website where she has a video and many other examples on how to use this die in many ways. Think glamping. One of the ladies did it in pink. And I even saw a card where the tent was made into a watermelon. Isn't that a cute idea? Thanks for watching, sharing, subscribing, and commenting. And thanks too for helping me share the joy of creativity.